Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I'm bringing you guys an update to my Morphtronic Cannon Soldier FTK deck profile. This is a super duper fun deck which utilizes Cannon Soldier along with a lot of the really cool Morphtronic cards that we have been able to sort of abuse over the years because they do not have hard once per turns on a lot of their cards. And we did get the new support earlier this fall, earlier this summer in Power of the Elements with Morphtronic Telephon, which basically allows us to keep spamming copies of himself onto the field, which you can then go ahead and tribute off for Cannon Soldier, being able to FTK your opponent before they even get a turn, which is super duper cool. A lot of fun for you, not so much for your opponent, but there have been a lot of big changes to this deck because we did have some big bannings that happened, which sort of eliminated the Punk engine and the Danger engine, losing cards like the Chaos Dragon, the Chaotic Magical Dragon and stuff. So we are actually going for more of a pure Morphtronic build. So anyways, let's get on into it. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely go ahead and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And also, you guys can check out all the affiliate links in the description below. And also, I would really appreciate it if you guys would start checking out my Pokemon series that I started here on the channel for a Pokemon Nuzlocke challenge, which I've also been streaming over on Twitch. So if you guys are interested at all in watching a Pokemon Nuzlocke challenge as it's going on, that is currently streaming on Twitch and being uploaded to the YouTube channel. But anyways, let's get on into it. So we're running the one Cannon Soldier, being able to tribute a monster to inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Super duper easy, simple to understand. And running the 3 Telephon. Now, Telephon is a really good machine duplication target, so we have him along with a couple others in the deck, which is really cool. So basically, you can also utilize his defense effect, which is really cool, because the Morphtronics do all have 2 effects, one while in attack position and one while in defense. So while he's in defense, he's kind of like a Foolish Burial. So you can roll a 6-sided dice, and then depending on whatever you roll, you're able to then reveal that many cards. So if you roll a 6, you reveal 6 cards off the top of your deck, and then you can pitch 1 Morphtronic card to the graveyard. So it's nice for a little bit of graveyard setup, and you can even send another copy of him. And then you do have like the new 1 spell card that is in the deck, which is the Morphtronic Converter, which is really nice. So you can use his defense effect, then use Converter to switch him to attack position and special summon a level 4 or lower monster from your hand. So you just get a lot of different utility off of like Converter. Using it with Telephon, it's just a really nice simple combo. And then you can obviously use his attack position effect to bring a guy back from the graveyard, which is generally just going to be another copy of himself. Then we have our 3 copies of Selfon, pretty self-explanatory because this guy just gives you free monsters from the deck. Then 3 copies of Smartphone, because this card lets you basically reveal and pick up a Morphtronic card that you reveal after you roll your dice. 1 copy of the Scannon, so we're getting kind of some of the one-ofs. Scannon is nice because this is another way that you can get to your copy of Morphtronic Converter, so he's just another nice option, and he's another route for us to go into our Power Tool Dragon, which is a nice tool to use in this deck. And then we're going to 1 copy of Remoten. Remoten's just really nice because it can banish like any of the level 1s to search you for another level 1 from the deck, and it can even search for the same card, so you can banish a Telephon and then get another Telephon, and then we actually have ways to get stuff from the banished pile. So overall, having the 1 Remoten is really nice. 1 copy of Scopin. And then Scopin's target to special summon from the hand is going to be the Boomboxin. It doesn't come up too often, but you can always use Scopin to bring out Boomboxin from hand, or you can just have Scopin in defense mode, and then it becomes a level 4, which then allows you to go into TG Hyper Librarian if you have Selfon on the field. So overall, just really nice. And this is another route for you to go into your Power Tool Dragon. So overall, I believe there's like 3 different routes to get into Power Tool in here, so it's really, really nice. Then we have our 3 copies of Gadget Gamer. I kind of dislike playing this card, but overall it's really nice to increase consistency. This is kind of a glass cannon deck. It usually just kind of either FTKs or it just can't get enough gas to beat your opponent. We can do a few things like set up a Appaloosa or like a Baron de Fleur for some negates and stuff, but overall you want to just increase your consistency to getting the Telephon or Selfon. That way your deck can kind of get some gas going. So then you do have to play the 1 Gadget Hauler to play along with this, and this is your last route to kind of get into Power Tool Dragon, because you just use Gadget Hauler along with any of your level 1 tuners, and that there is your Power Tool Dragon. Now on to the big fancy spell cards. This deck plays so many power spell cards, so we are going to the 3 copies of Machine Duplication. This card is just super duper nice for the deck. Then going on into 3 copies of Desynchro. This is like a new addition of the deck now that we are playing the like the pure Morphtronic route, apart from like the original FTK, which played the Dangers and the Punks. So Desynchro, really cool to be able to just go into Formula Synchron while you have a TG Hyper Librarian, draw 2 cards, and then you just Desynchro, put it all back, get your Morphtronics back on the field, reuse their soft ones per turn effects, and then Synchro Summon again. Overall, it's just a really nice little draw engine for the deck. 1 copy of the Morphtronic Converter. I know I kind of talked this card up already, but it is just a one-of in here because you can search it with your scan-in. You also can in like a fake way you can search it with your smartphone. So there's just like a lot of different ways you can get into the converter. So overall, I didn't think that you needed to play too many multiples of it, and you are drawing so much in this deck that you don't want to play too many of the hard once per turn cards. That's like a really big reason why you're going to see some wonky ratios. Then going on into 3 copies of Morphtronic Repair Unit. This is a search target off of our Power Tool Dragon, so it's really good. Really nice just to bring stuff out of the graveyard. Like if you have a bad Selfon effect and you don't get to like reveal a Telephon, then you can always like link Selfon away, bring it back with Repair Unit, and then you can try for Selfon again, or just as another extender for your link plays. Then for the rest of our equipped spells, we have Different Dimension Reincarnation, and this is my super special tech card, which I included specifically for this deck, which is 1 copy of Wonder Wand. So what this card does is that it equips to a Spellcaster type monster, and then if you control the Spellcaster and this card, you can send both to the graveyard in order to draw 2 cards. So like I said, this deck is basically all about special summoning from hand or deck, special summoning from graveyard, sending to graveyard, and most importantly of all, drawing cards. So Wonder Wand, being able to equip it to a Relinquished Anima. So you have Relinquished Anima in the deck, you have Dark, and then you also have your TG Hyper Librarian. So TG Hyper Librarian is just a really, really great target to be able to get that. If you're out of Synchro plays, then you just use your TG Hyper Librarian with your Wonder Wand, send it to the graveyard, draw 2, and then maybe you'll draw Monster Reborn or something. You can always bring it back to the field, and then if you Synchro more, then boom, you get to draw even more stuff. So Wonder Wand, just really nice. And then we have, kind of getting to our Monster Reborn effects, we have 1 copy of Junk Box. You don't really need 2 more than this because you do have your copies of the Telephon to revive your Morphtronics, 1 copy of actual Monster Reborn, and then 1 copy of World Legacy Succession. These 2 cards are super duper nice because if you get your Cannon Soldier into the graveyard, sort of like mid-combo or early, if you send it to the graveyard some kind of way, or get it in your hand and you can pitch it to the graveyard, whatever you do. If you can get Monster Reborn or World Legacy Succession into your hand, if your opponents have Disruption, then at least these cards can kind of help you to play through that disruption. So like if they're going to like imperm your Saryuja or whatever, if they're going to imperm your Firewall Dragon, then you can just use Monster Reborn later to revive your important cards from the graveyard. And like I said, if you did like the whole Wonder Wand combo with like an important Spellcaster monster, you can always bring it back, which is super nice. 1 copy of Into the Void. This is kind of another Glass Cannon card, but like if you just need to draw a little more in order to win, then this card is just going to be your saving grace. 1 copy of Pinpoint Landing because we have cards like Smartphone, which can special summon themselves from the hand. 1 copy of Upstart Goblin, which is pretty simple. 1 copy of Foolish Burial. This card literally just skips Curious, so if you get Foolish Burial, you can just Foolish your a Telephon or your Cannon Soldier to the graveyard, and then basically your combo is already halfway completed. 1 copy of 1 for 1. One other interesting tech that I added, which is 1 copy of Small World. Like I said, we want to increase our consistency, but we also have to be conscientious of how much we're drawing with this deck, that you don't want to play too many hard once per turns. And then we are playing 1 copy of Called by the Grave as our 40th card, just to make sure that we don't get hand-trapped too much. But that's going to do it for the 40-card main deck. Let's get on into the extra. So for our mandatory 3 cards that we need in the extra deck, we have Curious, Firewall Dragon, and Saryuja. I should probably put them in this order so you can see like linearly how they work. So basically you link into Curious with 3 monsters with the same type, and then send your Cannon Soldier to the graveyard. That's sort of like the big play. So Cannon Soldier now goes to the graveyard with him. You use Firewall Dragon co-linked with any monster to bring Cannon Soldier back to your hand, and then Saryuja is going to special summon it from your hand if you've already used up your normal summon. So that's just sort of how all this line goes. So overall, it's just really, really cool using these guys. Ways that we get into our Curious then is our 1 copy of Link Kuriboh, and then we're playing 2 copies of Relinquish Anima, which might seem a little weird because most people play 2 Link Kuriboh, but because we are playing the Wonder One and we want as many spellcasters as possible, it's nice having that second Relinquish Anima for that possibility. Or if you just need to break boards, having Relinquish Anima in here as a way to just suck up your opponent's monster is really cool. 1 copy of Dark, the Nightmare Phoenix, which then allows you to also co-link with your Firewall Dragon really, really nicely. That just works really, really nice. And then you have, for your final card to go, actually Phoenix is not a card to go into Curious, but your final card that you use to go into Curious is your Nightmare Unicorn. So basically your play is going to be, you go into like Relinquish Anima, and then use any extender with Anima to go into Dark, and then another like Telephone or extender to go into Nightmare Unicorn, and then you get into your extra copy of Anima and Link Kuriboh, and now these are your 3 with the attribute and the same type. So that's just sort of how that all works with going into Curious. Your next card that doesn't really matter is Appaloosa, but like I said, if you kind of get a bunk hand or you just can't get into your full combo, you can always just sort of sit on an Appaloosa. Then getting on into the synchros, we have 2 copies of Formula Synchron. 2 is just really nice just to be able to draw extra stuff, but you could get away with playing 1 copy. Then we have our 1 copy of TG Hyper Librarian. These 2 cards, along with Desynchro, just make the deck work so, so nice, but sometimes you don't need them if you draw really good. Then we have our 1 copy of Power Tool Dragon. I've already mentioned him pretty closely, but also we are playing a couple of level 3 tuners. So we have our Remoten, and then we have our Scopin, which we saw earlier. So we have these level 3s along with our level 7 Power Tool Dragon is another nice route to be able to go into Baron de Fleur, or you still have other routes even to go into Baron de Fleur. So she's overall really, really nice. So that's going to do it for the main deck. Now I'll do a very, very quick combo tutorial so you guys can see how the deck runs. Alright, you guys, so I just finished up a really good pile shuffle. We'll see what we can do here for a hand. Going to try this on first attempt number 1. Overall, this deck has been working super consistently, almost more consistently, I would say, than like having the Danger Engine in here, because these Morphtronics just work super duper well. So let's see what we can get. Oh, alright, okay, so we're already starting with a Telephone and a Smartphone. Okay, Small World, which we might not even use, another Smartphone, and then an Upstart Goblin. Holy cow. Okay, so this is a super duper good hand. So, like I said, we might not even use Small World just because we maybe don't even want to like banish stuff, but we'll see what we can do here. So, actually though, starting off with a good bridge with Small World might be pretty good. Okay, well, I said that we probably wouldn't use Small World, but I think we are going to because we did double up on the Smartphone. So what we're going to do is we will activate the Small World, and we are going to reveal Smartphone from our hand. So then we have to go with something of the same like type or whatever. So what we're going to do is we are going to reveal, I feel like we don't care about Scannon anymore, so we will reveal Scannon because they have the same type. And then along with that, then the next ones that we can do then for the bridge is then we would go to Gadget Gamer. So then also Gadget Gamer has the same type, attribute, whatever you want to do. So then we would be able to then add Gadget Gamer, and then these 2 cards would get banished face down. So we will do that. Then what we're going to do, just because, so we're not going to search for Cannon Soldier. We would have been able to also bridge it, so we could have just gone for Cannon Soldier, but then that would just totally eliminate the combo. So what we're going to do is we're going to go Gadget Gamer. Gadget Gamer then is going to add a level 1 machine monster from deck to hand. So what we're going to do here is we are just going to go for our first copy of Cellphone. So we could go for Telephone and just get both Telephones out of the deck as well, but overall having Cellphone and Smartphone probably means we should be able to get into another way to be able to get into one. So then we will tribute off our Gadget Gamer using his effect tribute this card, special summon a Morphtronic from your hand. So we will special Self-On to the field, and then we will then go ahead and use his other effect to be able to special summon the Gadget Hauler from the deck. We'll give a quick shuffle here. Then what we're going to do is we will, we cannot banish Gadget Gamers, so we are just going to use Self-On's effect. So we will use Self-On right away. Okay, just let me grab my dice. I should have been more prepared. Okay, so we're gonna go with the beautiful little Dark Magician Girl dice. Oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Okay, so Self-On. We're gonna go Dark Magician Girl dice. Okay, and we rolled a 3 for those of you guys who couldn't see it. All right, so we're getting a Self-On. Okay, so Self-On right there, perfectly fine. We want him in attack position, so we will shuffle the rest into the deck. Now we're going to link away this Self-On that we used already, and we will go into our first relinquished anima. If our opponent had a monster on the field, we could suck it up right there. But what we're going to do then is we will banish this Self-On to be able to go into our Smart Fawn. Then we'll use Smart Fawn's effect. We will roll, and we only get a 1 on the roll. So, oh man, did I even shuffle? Okay, so Smart Fawn kind of got wasted. But what we can do now is so you always want to like Smart Fawn before Self-On, and now what we can do is we can actually take these two and go ahead and Synchro Summon into our Power Tool Dragon, which now that we have Power Tool Dragon, he's just either more link fodder or whatever we want to use him for, but we can use his effect to be able to thin the deck a little bit more, so we can go for our Morphtronic repair units. So as long as we can show that we have 3 repair units, that means that we can add one of them to our hand, basically. And now this is where Telephon is going to get really, really nice, because we can find a way to get Telephon into the graveyard with another Telephon. Then we are just off to the races, and we are at full combo. So that's kind of why we wanted to go this route, because we knew we could probably get to a repair unit. So now we're going to use this Self-On's effect. We will roll and get a 5. There we go, and we get our Telephon. So right there, that is our full combo, basically. So we will special out Telephon to the field in attack position. If we had like Converter in hand, it would be pretty cool to put him in defense position, then use his defense effect, then use Converter and switch him to attack position. But what we're now going to do is we are going to use this Telephon's effect. We'll roll here. Okay, and we roll a 6, but it doesn't really matter because we only have a level 1 engrave. So we'll bring Smart Fawn back, and we gain 600 life points. We'll use Smart Fawn's effect here and roll again, and we get a 1. Hey, and we found our 1 copy of Morphtronic Converter, so that's actually pretty cool. So now what we can do then is we can do a little bit more synchro play action. Or sorry, link material stuff. So we're going to take these two here, and we're going to go into our copy of Dark. Then what we, or actually, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much, but then we can take Telephon here, and we will link him away to go into our copy of Link Karibo, just so we have Link Karibo active whenever we need him. So the important thing to know, though, is just like you always want to remember which Telephon's effects have gone off. Usually I kind of mark them with a dice or something if I've used their effect or not. And then also you just want to make sure that you always have a live Telephon on field before you do too many Link summons. The only reason why I'm doing it right now is because we do technically have a live Telephon in our hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to go repair unit. We can pitch our Telephon to grave and then just summon him back. And we could actually do the one move. So we're going to put Telephon in defense. We'll use his defense effect, and we'll go for a roll of 4. Actually, now that I'm rereading repair unit, I believe, so it does say that the monster cannot change its battle position. I'm not sure if that's manual or if by card effect would be legal, but we're just going to say Telephon has to stay in attack. So we're not going to do his defense effect. So we are going to use Telephon to bring back this Telephon. Now, since we've used him, we can go ahead and just link him away. Basically, once you use them, then you will see that they basically get linked away right away. And we'll use Dark here. So Dark is going to go then into our Nightmare Unicorn. Then we can use this Telephon's effect to revive the other Telephon. And this is obviously full combo because we are just going this hard already. So now we can link this guy away. And you always want to be pretty conscious about your zones and stuff. But now we have our 3 Darks with different types. So we can link them away to go into our Curious. Curious's effect then goes off, and we can send our Cannon Soldier to the graveyard. So this combo is going off really, really nicely. We can then also use Curious's other effect to be able to mill the top 3 cards off of our deck to the graveyard, so why not? So we'll mill 1, 2, and 3. Those are all pretty decent mills because we just don't want to see Gadget Gamer anymore. Machine Duplication doesn't really do us any good anymore because we've kind of gotten multiples of our guys out. So overall, that wasn't too bad. Now that we probably do have good cards on the top of our deck, we'll probably use this Upstart Goblin. You guys have probably been itching for me to use this Upstart Goblin since I drew it. Oh, no, and we get another Gadget Gamer. Okay, so that's our 3rd Gadget Gamer. So we have not used this Telephon's ability. No, so we are going to revive the 1 Telephone, and we're going to put Telephone into this zone here. Or probably doesn't matter actually, but basically then we're going to take the Telephone who we've used and we're going to link these 2 away to go into our copy of Firewall Dragon because he just needs 2+ monsters. Yep, just wanted to double check on that. Then what we can do is we'll use this Telephone to revive, and then this is kind of where it helps to have an extender. So what we're going to do then, or also just to have like to save a spot for your other relinquished anima in the extra deck, or whatever you need to do. But basically here is where you link away Telephone along with another extender to be able to, we'll take these guys in order to go into our Nightmare Phoenix. Just have to have 2 monsters with different names. Now that we are co-linked, then we are able to use Firewall Dragon to add our Cannon Soldier back to our hand. And now we will use this Telephone to revive this Telephone, and now you just need to be able to go link 4 to be able to go into Saryuja. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to use our Power Tool Dragon to go into our Baron de Fleur. So I switched Baron de Fleur over to the side. But basically, we're just going to take all of these guys and we are going to link them away. So you can just go link, use Phoenix as a link 2, and then treat that as 1, and then another 1 material to go into your Saryuja. Here we're going to go for 4 just so we can be cocky and draw extra. So we're going to link those 4 away to go into Saryuja. Saryuja will then trigger off to draw 4 cards and then put 3 to the bottom. So we're gonna go there. Oh, and that's so good. So we have we're gonna take Desynchro because it's fun. We'll put Gadget Gamer to the bottom. Cannon Soldier needs to stay in hand, obviously. What do we Converter we don't need anymore. So and we will we'll get rid of Cell Phone Repair Unit. They all kind of just go together. So we will get rid of Into the Void. We don't need that. So we'll send those 3 to the bottom of the deck. And this is now what our hand looks like. Very, very nice. So we have, at least we have our Repair Unit and Cell Phone as a backup there, which is really cool. And then Desynchro, because we can basically probably Synchro if we go into Cell Phone. So now we're going to use this Telephone to revive this Telephone. Now we can use Saryuja Skulldread to be able to special summon Cannon Soldier. And now is where our opponent forfeits because we just beat them. So we already used his effect. So now we're going to use Cannon Soldier to pop this Telephone, burn our opponent for 500, use this Telephone to revive, and just keep going. So now we can pop this one with Cannon Soldier, use this Telephone to revive, and you guys get it. So anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this combo tutorial. Hopefully this helped. Really good to see just what a general test hand can do and how it kind of runs through. So we used everything in our extra deck besides 5 cards. Our main deck went through pretty, it's a little slim now, but you can go definitely deeper than this. There's a good chance that you'll go through duels where you use your both your Formula Synchrons and your TG Hyper Librarian, and definitely where you can go through with your Baron de Fleur for like Nibiru protection and whatnot. So anyways, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys thought about this deck profile. What are you guys going to change up? You guys can change up some of the draw spells and some of the consistency boosters. This is just how I felt more comfortable. So anyways, let me know what you guys thought down in the comment section, and we'll see you guys for the next profile. Also, do not forget to go ahead and check out that Pokemon Nuzlocke challenge that I'm doing. If you guys want to see it live on Twitch, go ahead and follow me on Twitch and turn on your notifications. But otherwise, you guys can see the episodes as they come up weekly, bi-weekly, whenever I upload them. So we'll see you guys for the next profile. Peace.